Does your child have separation anxiety so bad that they invade your sleeping space, where they are sleeping in your bed and you and your partner are sleeping this way and the child is sleeping this way, and they're pushing and they're just pushing you out of the bed because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to sleep in their space. They're afraid. They're fearful. Separation anxiety is a normal part of development, and it is a real deal, but there are ways to cope with this. In this video, we will talk about practical strategies and how to help your child navigate and conquer separation anxiety, setting them up for success later on in their development. Separation anxiety differs from clinginess. Separation anxiety is where the child they are so consumed by fear in that present moment that there is no forward thinking. It doesn't matter what you tell them or anything. They are frozen. And so if you say, hey, little one, I'm going to work and I'll be back to get you. If that little one is so consumed with separation anxiety, they're not hearing you. They are not hearing you. They're crying. They're laying on the ground. They're causing a scene of sorts, and you are struggling to console them. Versus clinginess. Clinginess is where the child they are clinging to the parent, but you're still able to hand them off to the next caregiver. You're able to walk them into the school. You're able to walk them into daycare or leave them with the babysitter. But and that's where the child, they are still able to hear you and they're able to process what you're telling them. And so they're like, okay, they're clingy, they're tearful, but they will transition. The difference with separation anxiety is that the child is so consumed with this fear, this worry, that they're not hearing you, and they're frozen and they're inconsolable. Separation anxiety may cause nightmares, and it may also cause an influx in physical complaints, like I have a tummy ache, or I didn't sleep well, or something else. Separation anxiety can affect children from any age, from birth to young adulthood. There is no limitation on that. And in fact, even as adults, we are stricken with separation anxiety. What causes separation anxiety? This is the real deal. This is life stress. This is life stressors. And when there is a change within the normalcy of the family dynamic, it causes a stress. Not only do the caregivers or the parents feel it, but the children do as well. Changing schools, changing houses, moving. It could be a divorce. It could be the loss of a loved one. And so, kids, they're full of questions. They'll be like, well, what school am I going to go to? Will I have any friends? Is anybody going to like me? And so it's a conversation that just keeps going on, and you can sense almost this panic, this worry, and that fear. They're terrified going in. And so we see, if you're noticing that the complaints from a particular child, the physical ailments, the complaint list is starting to get longer and more frequent and more intensified. The separation anxiety is increasing. And so to be mindful of that and aware of that, it's like, okay, they're worried about something. Why don't they want to leave me? So as you can see, the list of life stressors for children is endless, just like as an adult, that their list is on their level, but they have their own stressors that they are highly concerned about. And it affects their mental and emotional well-being. It affects their relationships, and especially when they're stuck in that unknown and they're frozen. So now, here are 5 practical tips in how to help your child navigate their separation anxiety. Number 1, practice short separations gradually. What this looks like is, if you and your partner are going out on a date, bring over the babysitter Earlier in the day, if you can, or preferably the day before, introduce this person, especially if they've never seen before and they're not within the family structure, um, and just introduce them. Let them have, a half hour to 40 minutes of playtime, and they get to recognize a face and a name and kind of this soon to come caregiver's personality and what they're all about. And it's like, do I trust this person? And so short, gradual separations are wonderful. So the first date, when you go out, try and make it an hour and a half, and then come back. And then the little one remembers, like, oh, mommy and daddy came back, or they came back for me. This is okay. You're building that trust. And then the separation anxiety will start to lessen. Number 2, create and maintain consistent goodbye routines. What this would look like is some parents or adults, they tell their kid, hey, I'll see you back here in 45 minutes, and they fist bump or they high five, or it's a, whatever secret handshake they do and stuff. And so, but it is a consistent routine goodbye gesture, and the child is like, hey, I know what this means. It's something between me and them, and it helps relieve that that separation anxiety. Number 3, reassure your child of your return. And what this would look like is, it is a lot of talk, and the children want to know the routine. What is the schedule? When can I anticipate having mom and dad back? If your child is younger than 5 years old, most children can't tell time just yet unless it's on a digital clock. Time is still irrelevant to them, but they know times of day such as breakfast, lunch, nap, and then when the bus comes. So things like that. So identify in your schedule or in the child's schedule, when are you to be expected back? For instance, in working with children that are having trouble at school and they're like, I miss my mommy, I miss my daddy, I just want to go home. I will say to them, I'm like, okay, well, we have PE next. We do PE, that's a half hour. Then we do lunch, that's a half hour. And then we go to recess, and then guess what? We go to library, and then we pack up and we go home. You have 2 more things to do on your list, and then you get to go home. And so to them, they're able to piece it together, and it relieves that separation anxiety. And they're like, oh, they are coming for me. My day is almost over. So little ones, just like adults, they get tired during their day, and they're like, when can I go home? When can I be done? And that's so reassuring them and explaining to them is very beneficial. Number 4, leave a comforting object with the child. Especially if you're planning on being gone like a whole day, like I would say 4+ hours, 4 to 6 hours, 4 to 7 hours if you have a day event. This will help the child, even if it's a coin or something they can keep in their pocket and they just hold it and they fidget with it. It keeps their hands busy, and they're like, no, that's my mommy's, or that's my daddy's, or this is so-and-so's. It's very special to me. I'm holding it. I'm taking care of it. And when they get back to me, I have to give it back to them. But they are channeling their energy and their separation anxiety into this object that is special to them. And thus it's reducing their own personal separation anxiety. And that, so special objects are great, or if they have a special stuffy animal or a fidget toy of some sort, anything, it's just all about, whatever you need to do that would help comfort them in the separation. For the last tip, number 5, this is positive praise. Praise brave behavior, positive coping skills, anything that they did to succeed while you were separated. This could be, hey, I didn't cry. Yes, I was scared, but I didn't cry. And then you do your celebration dance, and then, simple little things, but positive praise. Overuse the positive praise, because then they'll be like, oh, wow, I got kudos and hugs, and, I got mommy and daddy's attention, and they got a big smile. And so this really helps reduce that separation anxiety. So you cannot overpraise and give positive feedback to your child enough. Parents and caregivers, please beware that one of the worst things that you could do when separating from your child, leaving them at daycare or at school or with a babysitter or whatever, is sneaking away and not saying goodbye. This leaves the child with abandonment. They feel you just instantly disappeared. It could be like a magic trick to them. It's like poof, they're gone. And then they're left crying and having a tantrum, and the fear actually escalates, and that's not what we're after. So do what you can. Refer back to the 5 tips in how to reduce the separation anxiety, and always, always remember to say goodbye and reassure them that you will be back for them. Separation anxiety is a normal part of childhood development. It is the child's way of expressing their fear when a caregiver or loved one is far away from them. Remember, be patient and work at it over time. This is not a one and done deal. This is practice, practice, practice. Counseling can be a great way for children to learn coping skills in how to manage their separation anxiety. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I help children all the time, daily, with coping skills and how to manage their separation anxiety. If you'd like to book a free consultation with me, feel free to reach out and contact me, and we will review your child's specific needs and see if we're a good fit. The link to book will be in the description. Thank you for watching, and remember to warrior on, beautiful people.